Good evening and welcome to my State of Mind here on WPRI.com as we continue to offer commentary online while we await our chance to get back on the television. And the good news on that is it seems like it's coming. Our schedule tentatively is for Tuesday to begin with brand new shows on MyRide TV at 7:30 and Fox Providence at midnight for Dan Yorke State of Mind. So we'll keep you up to date on that. In the meantime, a couple of thoughts on what's happening. Today was the conversation about masks. On the radio program on WPRO weekdays 3 to 6, it was pretty engaging, no doubt about that. Governor Raimondo is now facing pushback from patrolman unions, fraternal orders of police, in two communities as of press time, Warwick and North Providence, both of which have articulated arguments pretty well constructed in a letter that says, look, I'm paraphrasing here, civil rights violations of Americans are not something we want to get entangled with and get in the middle of. They also cite the low transmission rates across the population as kind of an argument that they probably are over their skis on. That's not really where they ought to be on this. But other than that, they're suggesting, and forcefully so, that they don't feel like they ought to be in a position to be issuing citations for people who aren't wearing masks, or for that matter, businesses that aren't compliant with the orders. So the way this whole thing works is this. The governor has, through her emergency stature, interpreted that she can delegate to the Department of Health the fine, citation power for you or for your business for noncompliance. The way it comes to their attention is through law enforcement. So law enforcement is not necessarily going to be issuing, say, like a speeding ticket to you. They're going to be ratting on you. They're going to be calling the Department of Health with the stories of you and your noncompliance, at which time the Department of Health will decide whether they're going to issue their citations. Now, all of this is discretion. If a police officer or a police department decides that they're going to run you up the DOH, they're going to run you up the DOH. But if they say, you know what, okay, you made a mistake, you didn't know what you were doing, blah, 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 they can use their discretion. It's the governor is trying to have it both ways, though, and it was disturbing today when she said, all right, if local police departments don't want to do it, I'll just have the state police come in and enforce it. So rather than being diplomatic and navigating this thing a little bit more carefully, she, in her formidable and usual way, says, I'm the boss, I'm the mother of I'm the caretaker, and I'll send my state police in if I don't have cooperative police departments. What she should be doing is, number one, having the Department of Health create with some agency an ad that ought to be running on everything, television, radio, everywhere, paid or unpaid, whatever deal they can make, that explains the nature of the mask and who benefits from it. Because I think if most people knew that the mask is going to protect somebody else, then they're more likely to wear it, I think, because I think human nature is such that they would do that. But I promise you, as I've said before, probably half the people walking around are thinking that the mask is to protect themselves. And then it gets into the whole smoking and seatbelt, I can do what I want, it's my life type of thing, and it just gets messy. I think that they have missed that boat, not only here in Rhode Island, but across the board. But interestingly enough, as the governor says, look, I'll send my state police in, Charlie Baker, the Massachusetts governor, says, look, I'm fining, I'm in the fining mode too, but I'm going to leave that to the discretion of local communities. He's not talking about sending the Mass State Police into towns to take over the criminalization of not wearing a mask. And although these are civil penalties, they can result in some serious fines and, a close of a business. So the governor, again, she's tired, man. She's tired. You can see it. She's tired. And reportedly, she's taking off for the weekends now. It's a Monday through Friday presentation in the early afternoon, dominating the TV and radio airwaves. So good. She needs the break, and she deserves a good Mother's Day off, because on the health issues, she and the Department of Health Director, Dr. Alexander Scott, have done really amazing work. On some of the other stuff, not so much. She needs to broaden her team and make a more strategic, especially on the business side, approach here, because she's pooped, and who wouldn't be? And she's causing friction, and she shouldn't be. In the meantime, Mayor Charlie Lombardi in North Providence, pointed out, hey, look, my officers can say what they got to say, but the chief runs the show. And if he's telling them what to do, they're going to do what he says. Of course, that works in theory. The Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association understands the nature of this and points out that police officers are part of a paramilitary organization and that orders come down from the top. At the same time, if a police officer just looks the other way, how do you know they did? It's kind of like if a tree falls in the woods and there's nobody there to hear it, does it make any noise? So it's a really difficult situation. And of course, there's a distinction between going into a business and saying, listen, your business is non-compliant, and taking individuals on the street and saying you're non-compliant. But remember, the police officers have discretion. Their general feeling about this seems to be that they don't want any part of it. So it comes back down to, again, the letter of the law or our morality. And are we caring about each other and doing the right thing for each other? And I hope that as you head into this Mother's Day weekend that you are thinking about that. Because keeping the numbers down and the curve down is what's going to give us a chance to open up real businesses and create real commerce. Hopefully sooner than later, because gosh knows we need it. And speaking of Mother's Day, I know a lot of you are missing your mothers. I miss my mom. She's deceased for a long time now. We miss our mother-in-law, my wife's mom. We're not going to be able to see her because she's in Massachusetts. There are many moms in nursing homes that are unreachable personally. It's a gut-wrenching situation. Even celebration of Mother's Day as you normally would is not going to happen. Just be careful. Don't protest it. Don't gather more than what the prescription is. Don't overdo it, because although the day is important, you want to keep mom safe and everybody safe. Hey, wash your hands. Try not to touch your face. Have your mask at the ready. Take a deep breath. Enjoy the graduation weekend season. I know we will, virtually here in our home. And I'll talk to you on Monday. And Dan Yorke's state of mind is reportedly coming back soon. So, terrific.